Mas não vem this miserable song on repeat, 'cause you seem to forget how much you are hurting me. Do what's right, you say you will, but then you don't. You just don't. You don't care, 'cause you don't take me seriously. What's there to repair if you don't wanna talk to me? You should know your time is up, I'm out, I'm done. So I'm putting you on a lifetime sentence, and you'll no longer feel my presence. So you thought I would let this slip, thought you knew me so much better. You're on a lifetime sentence, so now you never feel my presence. So you thought I would let this slip, thought you knew me so much better. So you thought I would let this slip, thought you knew me so much better. Yeah, yeah. So you thought I would let this slip. No, that's right, your words don't mean a thing to me. Sleepless night, your love has left us incomplete. Thinking that your promises will fit so loud. No, that's right. So I'm putting you on a lifetime sentence, and you'll no longer feel my presence. So you thought I would let this slip, thought you knew me so much better. You're on a lifetime sentence, so now you never feel my presence. So you thought I would let this slip, thought you knew me so much better. 'Cause I don't. So you thought I would let this slip, thought you knew me so much better. Oh no. So you thought I would let this slip. So I put you on a lifetime sentence, and now you never feel my presence. So you thought I would let this slip, thought you knew me so much better. You're on a lifetime sentence, so now you never feel my presence. Never feel. So you thought I would let this slip, thought you knew me so much better. Thought you knew me so much better.
No texting, no writing, nobody telling me what to say. This from the brain, from the heart, from the soul, from the streets. I'm a bitch from the streets. I get that money. I get that money. Bitch, give me what you got.
Let's go, let's go.
In this moment,
Yes.
I cannot say what's wrong or right.
No.
It's not hard to fool me,
No.
'cause I'm addicted to the good life.
Yes.
Yeah, lead the way, I follow. No need to say
No.
where we are heading now, babe. I follow to the edge of it all, to the edge of it all. So tell your good lies, 'cause I'll find no better one. Yeah, susceptible now, before the moment flies. Ooh, so tell your good lies, 'cause I'll find no better one. Ooh, susceptible now, before the moment flies. to.
Yes.
Yeah, nothing can stop me.
No.
'Cause I'm addicted to what you and I realize. Either way, I follow. No need to say where we are heading now, babe. I follow to the edge of it all. So tell you good night, 'cause I'll find no matter what. Yeah, susceptible now before the moment flies, before it flies. So tell you good night, 'cause I'll find no matter what. Susceptible now before the moment flies. Yeah.
Yo, 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 yo. We are back. We are back. We are back.
You want to come home with me tonight? It's been a while.
So what is it this time? You just want to be held, or you want the LD?
What you think it is? I want the LD, baby. And then I want to be held. That's all right with you?
You know me. It's my duty to please that booty.
All right. Peace and blessings to everyone. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Happy Friday.
It's time for the percolator.
We partying.
It's time for the percolator.
You got y'all tax money.
Percolator.
Y'all
It's
doing
time
y'all
for the
thing.
percolator.
Y'all
It's
enjoying
time for the percolator.
yourselves.
It's time for
You
the
didn't spit your
percolator.
money all
It's
up.
time for the percolator.
You didn't got your butt
It's time for the
plugs.
percolator.
You
It's
slip
time
and
for the
slides.
percolator.
You didn't got your
It's time for the
motherfucking glitter
percolator.
shorts.
It's time
You
for
didn't
the
got your
percolator.
motherfucking tank
It's time for
tops.
the
You didn't
percolator.
got your waist
It's time for the
cinches.
percolator.
You didn't got your
It's time for the
motherfucking
percolator. It's time for the percolator.
whatever it is. But anyway, let's go. All right. Anyway, I know I'll be tripping. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in tonight. I'm your host, Ross Lee. You are here of another edition of the Black Bottom Broadcast, where we here to bring the real, have grown folks conversations, and definitely have a good time while we're doing it. I told y'all I was going to do something different as far as some of my platforms. I am tired of talking about the niggerdom. I'm tired of talking about the ills that go on in the black community. I really want to put some knowledge on y'all heads right now. I know y'all see the title. I know y'all see the thumbnail. We about to break down some serious business tonight. So before we go any further, I need y'all to get y'all some water, eat y'all some fruit, roll you a blunt, have you a beer, get you a cocktail, but definitely leave them pills alone, 'cause them mugs will kill you. We about to get deep tonight. I told you I was gonna do other kind of like I told you. And hey, and thanks for all y'all, all the newer subscribers over the last couple of weeks that subscribed. I really appreciate the love and the support. Hopefully, if you're not on this live right now, you catch it on the replay, gang. You catch it in the clouds, you catch it in the bushes. However you catch it, you catch my shorts. My short content videos have been doing a lot of numbers. I appreciate y'all watching that. But we're gonna get into some really real things right now. Now, I know y'all see the title of this live stream. And for those that don't know who William Cooper was, he was a truth seeker. He had his hand in a lot of different things in the military as far back as the 50s, you know, and he saw some things behind the scenes that was kind of questionable, and he kind of put himself out there as far as being one of the founding fathers of conspiracy theories. He was doubting what public media, legacy media, and the government was trying to put out there, even though he was a part of the government. But as he got further into his studies, he saw that some of the things that was being told to us in the earlier years was really a smokescreen for what this country in certain sectors was really about. So tonight is going to be the part one of what we're going to discuss. And this was a book that he made back in the early 90s. And it was called Behold a Pale White Horse. And if anyone knows about scriptures, anyone knows about revelations, you know, that was a part of the apocalypse in Revelation. And the one that was going to really be the ill will of society as we know it today was the coming of the pale white horse. And if you see the things that's going on in our world right now, it all makes sense. And this is what we're going to review right now is something that was told to us 35 years ago. Okay. And if anybody know anything about true history, true literature, the older the book is, the more truth is in the book. It's only when time progresses and people see certain things and see how certain people move according to certain literature they read, they tend to try to rewrite it and omit things that shouldn't be omitted and add things that shouldn't be added. I promise you, with this video and my Sinful to P voice, I'm not going to be too long. But what I want to do is put something on your mind, put something on your heart, and put something on your spirit. There are people out here that mean you no good. It could be friends, families. It could be a stranger. It could be a person in higher power that's just seeing how you move and they watching you in the shadows. There are things that we really need to take hold and take heed to as far as really understanding knowledge of ourselves. I think the saddest thing that I'm starting to see from my community is the complete, utter ignorance of knowledge of self. A lot of us don't care to know about true knowledge of self. A lot of us, all we care about is clout, how another person views us or sees us in society, not even knowing who we are. I feel that the ills of your mother's transgressions and lack of structure has put a lot of the newer generation in a position of ineptness, of total despair. And what I really don't like is for people, not everybody, but for people to blame this on mental illness. To peep this, to blame this, I said peep this, I'm sorry. To blame this on our own personal, thinking. Everyone should know right and wrong. Everyone, left and right, up and down. You should know right and wrong. You should know if you're giving help to people, the ones that totally take it in and appreciate it. You should know when you help people and they take advantage of it. Now, I know that a lot of us make these mistakes. I know a lot of us make bad decisions. We're not perfect. None of us was put on this earth to be perfect, but we try to strive for perfection. But I must retort on this. We got to do better as a collective. We might have individuals that try to do their part to make it a way for them and their families. But we lost something over the years. We lost something over the decades. Not only just in our community, just in this world completely. But I won't even say that because a lot of the ones other than our ethnic group was on some real demon time. They was on some real taking over everything time. They was on some I'm the prince of the fucking devil type time. And they didn't care, you know? And this man right here, he was trying to point out some things within his own circle and his own race of people, which eventually ended with the termination of his life. So I'm not going to do this long soliloquy. I'm not about to go through a long thing, a long rant. What I am going to do, I'm going to play this video and we're going to get it going. Shout out to William Cooper, Bill Cooper, God rest his soul. This was some of the things that he was talking about back in the day. And this is what he wrote in his book back in 91. So sit back, enjoy, and get a good listen. I'm gonna tune in here. I'm gonna chime in here and there. But I really want y'all to get this. And by the way, this is all in fair use. But I'm quite sure that him and his camp wouldn't mind me putting this information out here. We got to keep certain information out here to quiet the noise or the confusion that you're seeing with all the other shit that's going on in society. So, all right, so let's go.
I think that's about all, so we might as well get started. Robin Quayle and I last year about this time, and Sherry McCord sitting over here, we three of us brought Bill in last February, had a real good turnout, and we decided to do it again this year. Robin and I have been talking with Bill for over the past several months, and we found out that he's got a lot of brand new material that you people, if you were to the one last year, there's going to be the new material. And one of the things he said last year, he said he was going to touch from kindergarten to about the fourth grade last year. And it made some people mad, but yet made them mad enough to want to come back. Now, this year, he told me the other night, he said we're going to hit from about the 7th grade to the 10th grade, so we're in the junior high. So maybe in 2 more years, we'll be at the high school or college. So this is some of the things. Bill spent about 7 years in naval intelligence, and he'll get into a little bit about what he did in there. And then he spent the last 17 years putting together what he is going to share with us this afternoon. At this time, I'd like to introduce Bill Cooper. Bill?
Thank you.
All right, before we go any further, me being a 70s baby, me being, you know, the last of a body of people that was standing up for some kind of change in society. I was blessed in the 90s as a young man to be in certain circles, whereas men and women wanted to have these private, not really private, but intimate gatherings, whereas we break bread and share knowledge and give knowledge and have these lectures. This was old school 90s information. This is before the internet. This is before podcasting. This is before, you know, all the social media outlets that are of today. This is how a lot of times we used to get information. Grassroots, down to the bone, in your face, upfront and personal. And it was a different vibe. It was a different energy during those times. You know, coming from the Oswald Quasis, the Khalid Muhammad's, the you know, the Stokely, not Stokely. I'm sorry, yeah, Stokely Carmichael. Yeah, he did stuff like this. Steve Coakley, God rest his soul. God rest Khalid Muhammad's soul. God rest all the warriors that was hitting the grind to try to give our people knowledge of self, black people, knowledge of self. There were some white men and white people that wanted to be on that same level, and they was looked at as crazy, conspiracy theorists. You know, they was labeled all different kind of things. The powers that want to control certain narratives in our country and abroad don't want common, everyday, working class people to really know themselves, true history, or any kind of substantial information that can help them elevate themselves from where they are at that point. I say that to say this: knowledge is key. Reading is fundamental, and knowing thyself is detrimental to yourself, your legacy, your children, your family, everything, everything. But all right, but let's go.
I'm real happy to be here, and I've got to tell you that Southern hospitality is wonderful. When they talk about Georgia peaches, they're not kidding. And probably the best breakfasts that you can get anywhere are down south. My mother was from North Carolina, from Charlotte. I was raised on grits and all the good things. And it was funny, I didn't like it much when I was a kid, but now I can't get enough. Seems like we change over the years, and sometimes the poison becomes sweet. What I'm going to talk about today is a lot of how the sweetness has become poison. Just the opposite has been happening. But it doesn't have to be that way. We can change it. I'd like to know how many of you are here from out of state? Good, excellent. We try very hard to notify everybody that we have an address on anywhere around any state that I'm going to be in, and I see that people are appreciating that. So we're not wasting our money on the postage. How many of you are here to see what I have to present and hear what I have to say for the first time? My God, something is working. That's incredible. That's wonderful. How many of you have never seen any tape or heard any audio presentation of mine or been to any of my personal appearances? Okay, that's good. Something is really working. One of the most difficult things about what I talk about is get people to drop their preconceived notions, their preconceived ideas, it can't be happening, this is impossible, Bill Cooper's a nut. Get them to drop those kinds of obstacles and just take a look at the evidence. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I don't want you to believe anything that I tell you today. I don't want you to believe anything that I present to you today. But I do want you to see it, and I do want you to listen. And maybe, just maybe, what I'm all about is just maybe you will see or hear something here today that's going to convince you that something is terribly wrong. And it's going to empower you to become active and help us find out exactly what is wrong and fix it. Because I believe that we don't have too much time left to do this. I hope that I'm wrong. I sincerely hope.
And the sad thing is that this was February of 1991. It was only 10 years later that he met his demise because all he wanted to do was teach people and show people where your rights was being molested, where your rights were being taken from you, where your rights were being blinded for other purposes, for other reasons, and how certain narratives would come about to confuse you to believing in one thing, and the powers to be would try to push this narrative to make you think another thing, to keep us separate, to keep us fighting each other, to keep us hating each other, to keep us deleting each other. Because they have a whole nother mindset of how they want to live life, how they want to view life, and how they see us as everyday average folk. Even the most average person on this planet can be the most extraordinary individual, depending on their spiritual and physical and mental um, powers and abilities. The most sought, the most overlooked person can be the most intelligent person in this society. But because we've been conditioned to think a certain way, to move a certain way, to act a certain way, we can't see it. We can't see the forest from the trees. We can't see a person for who they truly is face to face because you're so conditioned of what other people have told you about this person, other than you really taking a critical and analytical analysis and understanding whoever you interact with. Now, don't get me wrong. This is not a utopia that I'm trying to put out here. I'm not trying to make you think that any and everyone out here is a good hearted person. You got the highest from the highs in the religious, you got the lowest from the lows from the hood, and you got everything in between. I have seen the highest of the high of political, religious leaders deceive the masses. I know some people might not want to hear what I have to say right now about certain situations. And I know people are in mourning of individuals that have passed on to the spiritual world, and God bless their heart for that. I'm not going to name names. I'm not even going to get into all of the extra. But sometimes you need to really do your research of who you mourn, who you uphold, who you adore, and who you admire in every aspect. We're all not perfect. Yeah, even though we strive for perfection, we strive to try to be as perfect as we can, but it'll never happen. It'll never happen in this plane. It'll never happen in this lifetime. You don't have the mental capacity or the physical wherewithal to really stand on the stands of our historical people, the ones that's been documented in scripture, the ones that was documented in Coptic scriptures. Everyone, it's nothing against the King James version of the Bible. There have been many versions of the Bible. But it's real ironic that there's one of the most oldest texts in the world that was written that aligned with Christianity. You can't get here. You get bits and pieces. You get pieces and bits. You get kibbles and bits and pieces of the original text of the ancient Christian theology, ideology, and religious texts. And you got to ask yourself, why is that? Because if you really got that information, and I had in my younger years, I was blessed to come across a lot of different things and a lot of different knowledges and a lot of different concepts. I said knowledges, I'm sorry. A lot of different concepts and a lot of different theologies to understand that this is deeper than what you know right now. Like I said, I'm doing something totally different tonight. I know y'all used to my rants and as far as like, you know, everyday, current affairs type things. But I'm about to really open up your eyes and your ears to a lot of different things that'll make sense for why we at the state of mind that we are right now. So let me stop ranting and let me go. God rest this man. And yeah, let's go.
I hope that I'm wrong. But I have to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, since I have begun telling the world what I know and what I've found in my research, thousands of people have set out to intentionally prove me wrong, to ridicule me, to discredit me, to do all of these things, and no one has succeeded. Everyone who has gone to research the evidence to try and prove that I'm wrong has only succeeded in proving that I'm right. And I have thousands of letters from these people. And they're amazed when they do it. There are people here today who were at my presentation last year who I know didn't believe anything that I told them. They were very skeptical, and have since become helpers in our crusade because they went out and looked at what's available. Most of the evidence is in the public domain. It's there for anyone to find. That's where I found it. That's not how I got started on it, but that's where I found everything that I'm going to show you today, most of what I'm going to talk about. There's also a lot of deception. There is layer and layer upon layer upon layer of misinformation, disinformation, just plain old ordinary bullshit, and a lot of other things to get in your way.
Now keep in mind, this was 35 years ago. Okay. A lot of the things that he's talking about is still prevalent in this lecture that he today. I mean, I'm just telling you. So, like I said, it's all in fair use. You hear the Black Bottom Broadcast. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you are new, thank you, and God bless you for all of my newer subscribers over the last few weeks. I've gotten a nice amount. I mean, I still got to go. I'm still trying to get monetized. I'm still trying to really reach out to a broader scale, but I'm trying to do this a different kind of way. I'm not doing this for shock dropping. I'm not doing this to stay, you know, what what everybody do because you know what, it does get kind of tiresome when you got 15, 100, 150 people talking about the same shit on every damn live stream, every short content video, every short, the same damn thing. Everyone's talking about all the problems, but no one is giving a solution behind it. And that's what's really terrible. It's holding us back. Where's the solutions behind all this drama? Where's the end game behind all the bullshit? Where is the point where you just say enough is enough? But all right, but
So
let's go.
wading
Let me
through
go.
that can sometimes be difficult. You have to use your gut feeling. You have to use your common sense. You have to dig. But it's important that you learn to do that. For those of you who are here for the first time today, let me give you some background of who I am so that I won't be some mysterious character in here rattling off information, which may or may not be true. I was reared in a military family. My father was a command pilot in the United States Air Force. He is a retired lieutenant colonel. He lives in the state of Texas now. A command pilot means that he literally has flown aircraft for thousands of hours and he's still alive. He started in biplanes and he ended up in jets. When I was a child, I can remember, I think I scrambled through every Air Force the Army Air Force ever had when I was a child. My dad used to take me out to the flight line to see these planes. I've flown in many of them. I used to eavesdrop on the pilots when they sat around the kitchen table, talked about UFOs and Foo Fighters, dog fights, and things that went wrong with their airplanes, and everything that you can think of, until they would get sick of me and my brother and sister and send us out to the yard to play. And then we would play what we heard. When I left home, also I was reared all over the world. We lived on Air Force bases in foreign countries. When I left home, I went in the Air Force. I was in the Strategic Air Command. I worked on B-52 bombers, KC-135 refueling aircraft, and Minuteman missiles as an aircraft and missile hydraulic technician. In the Air Force, of course, you have to understand I was a young man at that time, went in when I was 18. I spent 4 years in. I got out when I was 22. And I met sergeants, people who were over me, but who I became friends with, who sometimes after about 10 or 12 beers would begin to tell me the most incredible stories that I'd ever heard in my life about having participated in teams of Air Force personnel who recovered crashed extraterrestrial spacecraft. Now you gotta understand, if they had already had 10 or 12 beers, so had I. That's the first thing you've got to know. Second, you have to understand that after 10 or 12 beers at the age of 21, I wasn't interested in extraterrestrial crashed spacecraft. I was interested in the girl at the other end of the bar. So I didn't pay too much attention to all of this. And you could never get these guys to talk about it when they were sober. And you still can't today. And in fact, today it's much more difficult because they have means that they have perfected of mind control and memory erasure, to where now some people who work in very top secret projects don't even know what they work on. They know that they go to work in the morning, they get off of work and go home, they don't remember anything that they did all day. The technology for this is well documented, it's in the public domain also, and it's one way that they've figured out how to keep projects secret. If you don't believe that the military can keep things secret, consider this. You just recently heard of the stealth fighter for the first time. This is 1991. I think the first mention of it publicly was in 1990. Did anyone hear of the stealth fighter before 1990? What year did you hear? Early 80s? Anybody like to venture a guess on when the first flight of the stealth fighter took place? That's close. It was in the early 70s, ladies and gentlemen. First stealth fighter flew.
So the technology that our government has had, the advancement of technological equipment has gone back even further than that. But as far as the stealth, and anybody that knows what a stealth craft is, that's something that can go in supersonic sound, it can go in straight lines, and it can do things not really against physics, but it challenges the theory of how aircraft can move. Okay, I'll say that. If anyone wants to like look up and Google what stealth aircrafts do, feel free to look it up. I'm not about to give a long soliloquy on that, but yeah, people was hearing of that word of stealth in the military as early as the early 70s. But, all right, well, let's go.
So that's pretty good secret keeping. They can and do keep secrets for many, many, many years, and nobody knows about it. Now, I can tell you this for sure. If they have revealed publicly the existence of the stealth fighter, they have something else that's secret that makes that look like a tinker toy. That's the way these things go. When I left the Air Force, I went into the United States Navy. I originally wanted to go into the Navy. I love the ocean. I love ships. I love the water. I was a wonderful swimmer. I only had one problem. I got terribly seasick when I just looked at a boat. So that's why I really went into the Air Force. But when I left the Air Force, it had not satisfied my sense of adventure. I still love the ocean. I still wanted to go in the Navy, so I did. And I volunteered for submarines. I was stationed aboard the USS Tiger, USS 416, stationed at the Pearl Harbor submarine base. It was an old World War II diesel boat. When I reported aboard, it was in the shipyard and was actually had been cut in half. And you can imagine my chagrin being new to the Navy and standing on the edge of a dry dock looking at a submarine cut cleanly in half, knowing that I'm going to have to go underwater on this thing. I really didn't like the thought of that. Everything was rusty. Everybody was welding everywhere. It looked like a dead grasshopper covered with ants. Well, what they did was they inserted a 12-foot section, which became a pretty sophisticated sonar facility, compartment, and put 3 domes on the deck so that we could triangulate targets. And when this was done, we could actually compete with some of the best nuclear submarines in being able to track and kill a target. In fact, I remember thinking at times how easy it was to detect submarines and keep them from getting near an aircraft carrier, and then becoming a crew member on this submarine and servicing within 100 yards of a carrier, not having been detected until we broke water. Now, to me, that was incredible, because that meant that that carrier was dead. I mean, if it had been wartime, we could have sunk that carrier very easily. I was acquainted with the state-of-the-art of aircraft technology. I was acquainted with not the state-of-the-art, but I knew what it took to go underwater and survive. It was while on this submarine as the port lookout on the transit between the Portland-Seattle area. We had been up there for the Rose Festival as a showboat, really. People came down and toured through the sub. And we met a lot of girls and had some really neat dates, and then we left. And about 1/3 of the way back from the Portland-Seattle area to Pearl Harbor, I was the port lookout. We were on the surface doing about 10 knots when off the port bow, I saw, and I was the only one that saw it, a huge flying disc the size of an aircraft carrier come up out of the water, tumble on its axis, and disappear into the clouds. Well, needless to say, I was stunned, literally speechless. I started to say something but couldn't talk. Nobody else had seen it, and I knew that they weren't about to believe what I had seen if I told them. And it scared me a little bit too, because I had never believed in these things, even though I had heard stories about them all my life. And I didn't see your little run-of-the-mill 30-foot flying saucer. I saw something as big as an aircraft carrier. But I had a duty to report this because it could have meant a danger to the vessel. My duty was to the vessel and to the crew. But I wasn't about to tell the officer of the deck that I'd seen the flying saucer. So I told him, his name was Ensign Ball, I told him that I had seen something off the port bow at a relative bearing of approximately 15 degrees. Would he help me find it because I've lost it? And you work that way on the bridge of a ship. You work as a team. Everybody helps everybody else out. Since the lookout can't leave his station, officers very often bring in coffee. Well, he looked over there, and the starboard lookout had also heard what I said, and he looked over there too. And I was turning around to look back again, bringing my
Check 1, 2. Check
when
1,
the
2.
same craft, exactly like it, I don't know which to this day, came back down out of the clouds, tumbled again on its axis. And the most incredible thing happened. There was no splash. It was as if the ocean opened up ahead of it, and then it went into the hole which closed behind it.
Check 1, 2.
Now, this sounds incredible. And to tell you quite truthfully, it is incredible. And if somebody had told me that and I hadn't seen it, I would believe it. And I would blame any one of you for not believing it. But I hope before this day is over, you're going to at least consider the possibility that these things exist, because I'm going to show you some real film, pictures, and documents, government documentation. We're going to talk about a lot of other things that are going on. It's extreme.
Pardon me for doing a check 1, 2. I was just dealing with some technical difficulties. You know, sometimes StreamYard be StreamYarding, and if nothing else, I want to try to give you the best quality of what I got going on, and to give you an enjoyment and some food for thought. So basically, what Bill Cooper was telling you is that when he was in the military and being on a naval ship, he saw some things that he would have never thought would have been in the mindset of the everyday man here in the world. He saw a craft do things that was extraordinary. But at one point, our country wanted to put this narrative that there were some extraterrestrials that were out here that crashed on the land, and they took their knowledge and all that. And that's a hot topic. I can't say that it never happened, but to say that people that really wanted to push the narrative, that really want to drive the needle to a higher point of ideology. Like I say, you can do whatever you put your mind to, which in reality, some of the things that has been seen throughout history that was like considered extraterrestrial wasn't. It was domestic. It's just that certain circles of people kept information from the masses for that purpose, to really shock you and to really tricking you to believe in certain things. This man lost his life because he was exposing some things that certain powers to be was doing to deceive the people. All right, but let's go.
Extremely important that people get out of the stuck in the mud, narrow view frame of mind. I can tell you that over the last 17 to 18 years that I've been doing research, I have discovered that our normal, everyday concept of reality is an illusion. It is a manipulation in most instances of the power structure that really runs this country and the world to keep us ignorant so that we won't know what the truth is. I can tell you that when George...
Oh, and before I go any further, shout out to Wifey that gave me that cash app for $10. I really appreciate you. I don't ask for donations, even though I know you see my cash app and all that stuff on the bottom screen scrolling. I'm more into the engagement. I'm more into the conversation in the chat room. I am more into really getting with the people. I'm going to get where I'm at in life, regardless if I'm on YouTube or any place else in this world. But I feel that I have a duty to really point certain things out, certain characteristics out, certain situations out, because we all can do better than where we are at, or where we're at right now. You know, we can really elevate ourselves in a higher space and place in life than what we're doing. I don't know what it is. Everyone wants to claim, well, you know, it's mental illness, it's you know, depression, it's all these things, all these excuses. When are we going to look ourselves in the mirror and say, hey, can I do better today than what I did yesterday? Will I do better today than I did 5 days ago? Am I going to stay in the same space and place where I was a year ago? Are we going to really do that? What you looking at? I see you looking. But shout out to Wifey for giving me that cash app. I appreciate it. She been an A1 day one since day one. And she's always supported. She's always, you know, did her part and helped me in my journey and what I'm doing. And I love you for it. Okay. And I'm not, you know, too out of bounds to say it. you know, because everyone needs love, right? Everyone needs to understand that there's somebody that's going to be there for them. Everyone deserves the pursuit of happiness, but everyone also deserves the right to know what's really going on out here in this world. Fuck baddies, fuck a lot of fluffy podcasts that want to always harp on one subject and see, this is why a lot of these podcasts are falling and going to the gutter, because they stay on one thing, they stay on one topic, and they just keep drilling it in the ground, man. Okay, we know a lot of us is dysfunctional. Okay, we know a lot of us have problems. Okay, we know a lot of us come from single family homes, broken homes, abusive situations. What are we going to do to stop it? When we really want to talk about that aspect of life, what are we going to do to change that? We can talk about that shit as long as the day is long. But what are we going to do to change it? But all right, let me go.
George Bush says out of the Middle East crisis will come a new world order. He is not joking. And the new world order is not what you think it is. Friendly nations working together. It's going to be a one world, totalitarian, socialist government. Some of the reasons for this are good. Some of them are not. I can tell you that there is a hidden secret technology that is astounding, resembles nothing less than sheer magic, would literally set us free, enable us to cure most diseases, if not all, give us probably a source of, if not free energy, very close to free energy, very inexpensive energy, which we need very badly. And I'm going to talk to you why these things are being hidden, when this all came about, and try to give you a basic understanding of what's going on. All of it is covered in my book, which you may or may not have seen. The name of the book is Behold the Pale Horse. This book has more suppressed information printed in it than any other book that's ever been printed in the history of the world, I can guarantee you. And if they don't succeed in suppressing it, a lot of people's eyes are going to be wide open when they read it. Everything that I have found, I document. So it's not a question of deciding whether or not to believe me, it's a question of whether or not you can accept those documents as proof. Someone once said you can put 10 tons of proof in front of people. If they're not ready to accept an idea, they will not accept the proof. No amount of evidence will suffice to prove anything. It is the jury that will decide. And you are the jury. Smart people know that. After having gone through this experience in the con, on the bridge of the submarine, I was later told by the captain that we were not to discuss this, not even amongst ourselves. I've never been told that in the military. I've never heard of anything like that. People who worked on projects together usually discuss them amongst themselves together. Now, when we reached Pearl Harbor, those of us who had been on the bridge, including the captain, were not allowed to go to shore. An officer, a commander from the Office of Naval Intelligence came on board, spoke with each one of us in the captain's stateroom individually, and literally what happened is he did not tell us what to say. But every time we said the wrong thing, we were threatened. We were yelled at. It didn't take me long to figure out, having been raised by an Air Force officer and having spent 4 years in the United States Air Force, what this man wanted to hear. So I told him what he wanted to hear. Sir, I didn't see anything. I want to get the hell out of here real quick. Please, let's get this over with. That pleased him. I then was given several pieces of paper to read, which literally all said basically the same thing using different words. They were different rules, regulations, and laws governing the safeguard of information pertaining to national security. And then I had to sign a security oath saying that I would never talk about what it was that I had just told this gentleman that I had not seen. And then I was allowed to go. Later, I was selected and trained for Naval Security and Intelligence. I was given a secondary NEC of 9545, which is Internal Security Specialist. My job was to safeguard, control classified information, secure perimeters, buildings, naval installations, detect bugging devices, all of these things. I was specifically trained to conduct Pacific Area intelligence briefings. And then after all this training, I was sent to Vietnam and made a patrol boat captain for Naval Security and Intelligence. I was attached to Camp Carter, which was the headquarters of Naval Intelligence and I Corps. I was then sent to a division of Naval Intelligence, which was the Da Nang Harbor Patrol. I was given a crew, patrol boat, and a lot of weapons and ammunition, and they turned me loose. And that was crazy, because I was a young man that didn't know what the hell I was doing. But I did okay, thank God. Some others didn't. Later, I was transferred up to the Dong Ha River Security Group, which was another division of Camp Carter Naval Intelligence. And my job there was to patrol the river, make friends with the people along the banks, gather intelligence, and maintain the safety and security of the river. That river was at the DMZ, it's the Takan River. The base camp was Quavia at the mouth of the river on the southern bank. And it was a major supply route for supplies that went to Quezon, which was under siege. While there, I learned that there was significant UFO activity in Vietnam, a lot of it. Why? I don't know. There were rumors flying everywhere. We heard stories of enemy troops firing at UFOs, our side firing at UFOs, UFOs flashing back with blue lights that did crazy things, the same things that you hear happening today. I know of one instance for a fact that after UFOs hovered above a South Vietnamese village all night, the next morning there was not a living soul in that village. Don't ask me where they went because I haven't got the slightest idea. But it's incredible. We were told that any UFO information that we sent in dispatches, messages, or discussed over the radio, we were to use the code word enemy helicopter activity. And that's what we did. The enemy had no helicopters in Vietnam, period. So anything you see in the history of Vietnam that refers to enemy helicopter activity is in fact referring to UFO activity, unidentified flying objects. When I left Vietnam, I was sent to the USS Charles Berry D-1035 for a short period with NIS Naval Investigative Service to conduct an investigation on board that vessel. 3 months later, I left, was transferred to the staff of the Commander-in-Chief of the United States Pacific Fleet, who at that time was Admiral Bernard Clary, and was specifically attached to his intelligence briefing team. I also stood watches. In the Navy, you have a primary job. Some people don't know this, so let me explain it. In the Navy, you have a primary job, which you do. You also have to stand additional duty, which is called watches in the Navy. My watch station was Petty Officer of the Watch in the Command Center, which meant I was the senior enlisted man in the Command Center, in charge of the Command Center and the information. I was also the designated SPEACAT operator, which meant top secret, crypto, communications that came in under a specialized, compartmentalized category. Crypto was a thing back as early as 91.
Y'all think that cryptocurrency was a new thing like 5, 6, or maybe 7 years ago? No, that's something that's been in existence for well over 30 years. You heard him call that out. Like I said, I really want y'all to tune in, listen to what this man is saying, and really understand where we are right now today in modern society. This has nothing to do with who's in the office right now. I'm not gonna, put that on that. But what led up to who is in office right now, wasn't a historical politician that's in the highest seat in the country, for the free world. That should tell you that anything that you put your mind to, you can accomplish it if you're doing it for the right reasons in the right season. Like I said, this is a part one of this. This is a long lecture, so we're not going to go through the whole thing. I'm going to break it off in a little bit. We probably do a little bit over 2 hours. We're an hour and 20 minutes in. So, all right, let's go.
I was the only one on watch who was allowed to handle that information and direct it to the specific place where it was to go. Now, normally these things are handled by radio men and communications technicians in a communications center. But in a command center where they have to have information instantly, everything that goes to the communications center also comes to the command center, so that there is not a delay in important information, urgent information getting to the right people who have to make command decisions. It was there that I saw documentation that I have to tell you right now could have been shown to me or given to me, or I could have been put in that position in order to see these documents so that I would specifically talk about them later. I'll tell you why in just a few moments that might have occurred. I don't believe that's the case. I believe that the information that I saw was real, was accurate, and is occurring. The documents stated that extraterrestrials were real, that UFOs were piloted by them and had been visiting this Earth for many, many thousands of years, that there was a project called Aquarius that had researched this history and compiled the history from written human records, starting with the ancient tablets left by the Sumerians, the Assyrians, the Mesopotamians, the Egyptians, right up to modern times. These documents were quite thorough and very convincing, believe me. There was documentation that the United States had actually recovered crashed alien craft. The first one occurred near a small town called Roswell, New Mexico in 1947. The crash site actually covered 2 locations. One location was on a ranch belonging to a Mr. Brazel. The other location was approximately 60 miles from there, where the main bulk of the craft had come down, from which they had removed 3 dead alien bodies. I saw photographs of these bodies, I saw photographs of the autopsies, and I saw photographs of the internal organs of these beings. It stated that in 1949 another crash had occurred, also in New Mexico, from which they had recovered more bodies, and that they had found 1 live alien creature wandering in the desert. Now you have to understand, just because I saw these documents doesn't mean that all of this actually occurred. These could have been presented to me to make me believe that this had occurred. It stated that they had kept this live alien in captivity until June the 2nd, 1952, at which time he died of unknown causes. They instituted a project called Sigma to attempt to contact the race that this being belonged to. Sigma evolved into the National Security Agency. That eventually contact was made, landings occurred, communication took place, an alliance was agreed upon. This actually was supposedly happened at Muroc, which is now known as Edwards Air Force Base in California, in 1954. President Eisenhower was on vacation at that time in Palm Springs. During this time, you can see by reading the newspapers that he disappeared. The newspapers went crazy. Reporters were combing the countryside looking for the president. They were told that he had suffered a toothache and had flown by helicopter to a dentist. Well, this was not true. The true place where he was taken was Muroc, Edwards Air Force Base. The base was closed. This is also on record for 3 days. No one.
If y'all wasn't hearing me earlier, I do apologize. Like I say, I've been having certain technical difficulties going on with my equipment, stuff like that. But all I'm gonna say is this. There are things that's out here in this world that appear to be one thing, but they are totally something else. In order for us to be a better person and to be the best version of ourselves in whatever we do, is to have a critical and analytical analysis of the things that we do and experience in our life. Don't get so bogged down with what you think is possible out here or what you think that you know out here. There is so much other things that is going on. Yeah. Yeah, Dr. Manhattan's in the house. But it's all gonna go in line with what we're saying. But we got a little bit of time. We almost there. Like I said, this is just part one. Part two will come soon. So let's broaden our minds and really listen to this man because he gave his life for this information.
No one could go in, no one could come out. There are witness accounts that say 3 unidentified flying objects flew over Edwards Air Force Base and landed. We have a letter later from Mr. Gerald Blight who states that he was there when President Eisenhower was there. He saw the ships, he saw these creatures. And that's just the beginning, but I'm not going to go much farther than that. Right now, we're going to get into some documentation so that your disbelief can start to see that this is not as incredible as it sounds. And I know what some of you must be sitting there thinking. It wasn't too long ago, I should have been thinking the same thing. Now, over the years, if this is real, it's been suppressed and covered up and hidden for very good reasons in the beginning. Reasons that don't stand up now. Reasons that have resulted in criminal activity, in erosion of the Constitution, in all kinds of things. Now, I said that I believe that this is all true. I don't believe that it's a hoax. The evidence is overwhelming that it's true. And by overwhelming, I mean exactly that. When you get into really investigating.
Hey, shout out, shout out to Sweetness. You try to be a part about history, and that's what's up. And I'm glad that you went to see Jesse in his place of peace. You know what I'm saying? And I'm quite sure it was a long line. This man was a part of a history that we can never forget. regardless of whether he was a beacon of light for us in history or an agent of chaos. But that's not my place to judge. He was still a man. He had his place in our society. We all grew up with him. So God rest his soul. God bless his family. And I hope everyone is at peace with that because all of us is going to have that day. All of us is going to have the day when it's our last time on this plane, on a physical plane. The man who I'm reviewing right now, 10 years after this, he met his demise because he spoke what he spoke. Some men in this world, they get away with shit. Some people in this world get away with shit, knowing they wrong, knowing they could have did things better. But because they wanted to do and move how they wanted to move, they did it their way in my Frank Sinatra voice. And like I say, I can't I'm not gonna get into this right now as far as that because this is not the topic of the night. But trust me, if you really want to know the history about that man, stick with me. We'll go there. I'm changing a lot of things up in my platform. I'll still do the current things here and there. I mean, true enough. I mean, it's entertaining. We can joke and laugh and curse and do whatever. But I really want our people to know inner knowledge of self. I really want our people to know what it is to be better in life. Like I say, it ain't about the money with me. The only person that has really given me any donations to my channel has been my wife. And I appreciate her for it. And she don't have to do that shit. She don't have to. I don't ask her to do it. She do it out of the love of the platform. And I don't ask and I don't pry. I'm not a Umar Johnson. I need donations. I need gifts. I don't do all that, man. I know you see a lot of different channels on this YouTube space. It's millions of us. It's millions of us on this platform. This is one of the largest platforms to do content on this fucking planet. Everyone got their thing. Everyone got their niche. Everyone has their own circle that they want to be a part of. I'm just happy that those that tune into me are tuning into me, not even for the money, but for the fact that you want to hear information that can help you. That's what gives me the greatest pleasure. Knowing that I can feed you some information that can bring you to a different place in life. It's the greatest gift. All right, so but let's go.
Getting this, looking at it, the evidence will overwhelm you. It is incredible that such a cover-up has been able to be maintained for so long. On the other hand, I have found references as far back as the beginning of this century by a secret group of very powerful people to create an artificial alien threat from from some other planet to help unite all humanity into a one world government with them at the head. I have found a speech given by John Dewey in 1917 to Viscount Ishii and the Japanese delegation in New York City, where the first thing that he says in his speech is, "Someone once told me that the best way to unite all humanity and do away with war is if we were attacked from some other planet by alien beings from outer space." I have found reference in a report called the Report from Iron Mountain to the ultimate method of permanent peace on this earth and uniting humanity, doing away with nation states which cause wars, and substituting for war a tremendously wasteful space program that would unite humanity against an alien threat of an intelligent race from another planet. Now, I didn't know all this when I saw these papers back between 1970 and 1973 and the photographs and the records that I saw. This information came out during my research over the last 18 years. So it's something that has to be considered. I have to tell you that the intelligence communities, the powerful people in this world, have the capabilities to do this, to perpetrate such a hoax. They can do it. They have methods and ways to make us believe damn near anything they want to. But I will tell you this. The only question is whether extraterrestrials are real or not. There is no question whatsoever about the craft. The craft are real. They've been seen by millions of people all over the world. Credible people, military people, doctors, lawyers, bag ladies, elevator repairmen, people who work in grocery.
But just to let you know, those aircrafts that they showed you that were so-called alien was really American made. But that's another story. But let's go.
Grocery stores, heads of colleges, politicians, Jimmy Carter, Ronald Reagan, and many others. Now, Jimmy Carter said he saw a UFO before he was elected president. Now, if he's not credible, why did you elect him? If we can send a man to the gas chamber or the electric chair on the testimony of two witnesses in court, why won't you believe millions of people who are telling you that they have seen these craft flying in the air, that they're metal, that they are intelligently guided, that they are real, and that they demonstrate a technology beyond anything that we know of publicly anyway? I can tell you that we have this technology in the United States. It is being flown in an area called Area 51, Groom Dry Lake, in the Nevada Test Range in the state of Nevada. I have seen it fly. Many other people have seen it fly. I have a photograph of it in my book. I also have a drawing given to me by one of the people who have been there and touched it and seen it. The drawing matches the craft in flight exactly. I'm also going to show you a videotape of another craft, what they call a cigar-shaped craft, above the test site here in just a few moments. So, when you hear people talking about secret weapons, when you see the stealth fighter unveiled, what they have behind it in the wings, that you too can also go see, by the way, in Nevada, if you have the money and the time to go out there and stand in the desert all night. If you look toward Groom Lake between sunset and sunrise on any given night, you can watch them test fly these craft. But you have to be prepared.
Sunrise, sunset, sunrise, sunset. Y'all know about Fiddler on the Roof. Anyway, let's go.
To stay there 2 or 3 nights because they don't always fly every single night. Now, at this time, to show you that I'm not so far out in left field that you could turn it off. I'm going to show you a tape now, and this tape is going to prove to you that the government's been lying to you for a lot of years. Now, when I say the government, I don't mean our constitutionally authorized and legal and lawful government. I mean the men who have infiltrated our government over the years and are controlling it, subverting it toward their own end. Have been lying to us. Our government hadn't had a chance to work over the last 40 years. And you're going to see why. What I'm going to show you is a tape of the Kennedy assassination. It's not a tape that you've ever seen before. I hope you will pardon the editing because I'm not a professional editor and I have to do this at home because I cannot let this tape out of my possession because that would be totally irresponsible and it would probably disappear. Keep your eyes on the driver of the car. Do not watch Kennedy. Don't look around at the scenery. Keep your eyes on the driver of the car. That's in.
All right. Now check this out. Being that this in particular video has a bad recording as far as the visual of it, right? I am going to show you a better version of that video in its entirety. Okay? So this is a better quality version of the video that he's talking about right now. I'm going to go back to the video, but I just want y'all to see in a better quality of the video because I'm telling you, this was back in 91. The fucking, we was using cassette videos to record shit. It was bad quality. But I want you to really pay attention to the driver in this video. It's a 15-second video. But I want you to watch it. Look closely at the driver. Look close to the driver. Did y'all see that? Do you need me to replay it again? I'll play it again if you didn't see it. Okay. Yeah, I know. YouTube be on some other shit. Well, I want you to watch it again. Look at the driver. Tell me what you see. Tell me what you see.
I'm ready. I'm ready to fall in love again.
Oh, no.
Like,
no.
I
I'm not-
am
I'm not-
ready for love.
I'm not.
Can't do
Goddamn.
nothing without y'all saying something.
River TV.
Fuck all that. Watch it again. Watch the driver. Watch the driver. Y'all see that, right? Okay. Understand something. What was told about that whole assassination, why y'all saw him get shot like that, was not what they really was trying to tell you. Like, real talk. If you want me to show you that again, I will. But we're gonna go back to the actual video and keep it going.
That's important. They have always known who killed Kennedy, and they have covered it up for all these years. Okay, if we have the lights off, and please run the Kennedy tape.
What happened with the driver? He was the one that gave Kennedy the coup de grace. Do I need to go back? I will go back. So, since you really want to get a better understanding of what it is, I want you to watch it. I want you to watch it one more time. Pay attention in this video to the driver. Pay attention. You see that, right? You see that, right? Do I need to go back? I'll go back. You see that, right? Of course it was a setup. Do I need to say any more? Look at this video. William Cooper lost his life. And shout out to, and God rest his soul, Jim Thorne. I used to watch a YouTube channel by the name of Jim Thorne back in like the 2015s, 2016s. He had a whole slew of information. His whole channel was to disprove that Oswald was not the one that took Kennedy out, that it was a whole conspiracy thing, that other people was involved, politicians, gangsters, whatever. And unfortunately, his page got shut down from YouTube. I wish that I had the capability to screen record a lot of his the stuff that he had did on his page, on his channel on YouTube. Because he had a lot of information that showed you. He did a lot of he must have been involved. He must not I won't say involved, but he must have been around during that time and in close proximity of what happened with Kennedy. But watch it one more time. Here we go. Look. You see the driver, right? You see the driver, correct? Please tell me that y'all not tripping. This ain't AI. This is an old video. A very old video. Only certain people had this access to this in particular video. So that shooter in a grassy knoll, no. Lee Harvey Oswald from the book depository, no. Not how he got shot. Not how he got shot. That was a fucking to the front shot. That wasn't from the back. That wasn't from the side. That was dead in your front of his fucking head. This is the shit that propelled a lot of other things in our society to deceive you, to build a narrative of something that was not of truth. It was a whole setup. It was a video that was out about the whole thing when he came into Dallas. Understand this. I'm going to tell you something. A lot of people don't know this, right? When Kennedy was traveling doing his tour before he went to Dallas, right? Before this incident happened. Everywhere he went in Texas, all of them gave his first lady yellow roses, right? Out of respect and care and candor of the president and the first lady. It was that when he went into Dallas, you know what roses they gave Jackie? They was red roses. That was the only place that he traveled in his tour in Texas that gave him red roses. And we all know what red represents. But anyway, yeah, that was what that was. You saw it. You saw the video. Y'all saw the video. I mean, that was not AI. That was not a farce. That was just not nothing. But anyway, let's go. You're not going to be able to see it real clear on this video. So what I'm going to do, since it's not that clear, I'm just going to just pass it.
He had also ordered a printing of legally constitutional silver-backed money, which is not in the best interest of the world bankers or the power structure or the Federal Reserve.
Cryptocurrency. They were talking about cryptocurrency as far back as the 60s. They was talking about crypto. What he's just saying right now is the beginning of cryptocurrency. So let me go back.
In the motorcade, these documents disclosed to me that the people involved in the assassination of the president were the Office of Naval Intelligence.
Hold on. Go back.
Disciplined by a hard and bitter peace, proud of our ancient heritage, and unwilling to.
You can't really see it on that because it's black and white, and the quality of that video is grainy. But I got the real shit. Yeah, y'all be like, damn, Ross, how you get that? Don't worry about it. I got it. I give you real information.
And his rifle, the arrow.
This was actually what really put that video out, was some journalists in Japan that had nothing to do with America. That too found the video that showed that shit in real time, without any distractions, without any edits, without any fuck shit. That wasn't it. the whole car was getting shot at. You know, they had to destroy that car because it was people that was like on the off ramp in front that was shooting dead. It was bullet holes in the windshield. They didn't tell y'all about that. When they took that damn car from Dallas to wherever they took it, they destroyed that car to make sure that you didn't have any evidence of that car. Everything you won't see the actual model of that car. Why is that? And so much that's happened in history, right? With politicians, with outlaws, with American folklore and history. Somewhere, somehow, you've always had remnants of different pieces of history, right? Out of all the history in the world, why you don't have the car on display that John Kennedy was shot in? Why y'all don't have that? Why is it not on the actual car? You know, y'all put shit in the Smithsonian, all this other bullshit that y'all put throughout history, right? Why, out of all the things in the world, that's the one thing that they don't have on display for people to see as a historical event? Why is that? Why is that? Maybe it's because of this.
Disciplined by a hard and bitter peace, proud of our ancient heritage, and unwilling to witness or permit the slow undoing of those human rights to which this nation has always been committed and to which we are committed today at home and around the world.
What began with such promise, however, would end less than 3 years later in tragedy. On November 22nd, 1963, President John F. Kennedy was assassinated, shot to death while riding in an open limousine through the city streets of Dallas, Texas. The death of such a young and vigorous leader was an overwhelming event which stunned both the nation and the world. In the years that followed, though, the Kennedy assassination became much more than a national tragedy. When viewed in light of later assassinations, the war in Vietnam,
That's not AI, man. The driver blew his fucking brains out. Like real fucking talk. But anyway, let's go.
In the motorcade. These documents disclosed to me that the people involved in the assassination of the president were the Office of Naval Intelligence, the Secret Service, Division 5 of the FBI, and the Central Intelligence Agency. The reason stated was that he was a security risk. that he had ordered them to stop the sale and importation of drugs to the American people, and that he had ordered them to develop a plan to disclose the presence of extraterrestrial visitation to this earth within the following year. He had also ordered a printing of legally constitutional silver-backed money, which is not in the best interest of the world bankers or the power structure or the Federal Reserve, which is not an agency of the federal government, but is a private corporation run, and the stock is held and owned by bankers, most of whom are European bankers controlled by the House of Rothschild. They pay no taxes on the national debt that we pay them and the money that they earn from the interest. So they were dead set against the printing of this money. Kennedy had also discovered what the CIA had been doing for many years. You see, being president, you get to open a lot of drawers that nobody usually gets to open. And he had informed the CIA that he had intended, and he said this publicly, by the way, that he intended to disband the CIA and scatter it in 1,000 different directions. So you see, he made some pretty big enemies. And
when Kennedy said that, he put a target on his back.
there were some pretty powerful people who thought that he needed to be killed. Many of you saw this and found this out for the first time today. How many of you are upset by this? I am. I have been ever since I saw those documents. I've been.
And guess what? Kennedy was a Democrat. He wasn't a Republican. He wasn't an independent. He was a Democrat. Do you see what's going on right now with the Democratic Party? Do you see what's going on with what's going on in Minnesota, in New York, Chicago, all the majority Democratic ran? Fucking Chicago's about to lose the fucking Bears. Okay? A fucking staple of that city and of our state that's been here for well over 100 years because they're too fucking bitch made to fucking give them what they deserve. The Chicago Bears is willing to move to fucking Indiana because Illinois is too fucking bitch made and wants to tax you the fuck off and scam your ass where they won't give the Bears what they want. And y'all want to keep voting Democrat? The Democrats and a few other motherfuckers blew this man's brains out. And a couple Republicans at the time, but that's besides the point. They are all one and the same. I will say that. I'm not gonna look. I'm going to live my life the best way I can. I'm going to vote for whomever is at the best interest of my family and my finances. This is just our right here in this country. If they're willing to do what they need to do to help our families and our finances, yeah, I will vote for that. That is your right. That is our God-given right. So many of us have died for this right. So do that. Vote, but also be smart and intelligent and vigilant as far as vetting who you're voting for. Just don't vote for them just because of a skin color. Just don't vote for them because they can talk real good. Just don't vote for them because they know Diddy. No Diddy. But anyway, Just don't do it. Do your research, y'all. Please, please do your research of who you vote for. Check they Carfax, the nigger facts, the cracker facts, whatever the
Terribly upset. In fact, in my book, I enclose parts of my service record in the appendix. You can see the exact day that I found out that the Office of Naval Intelligence was involved in the assassination of President Kennedy. I went over the hill with no intention of coming back. It was my good friend Robert Swan who talked me into returning so that I can do what I'm doing today. He said, Bill, you can't help anybody if you're in jail, and that's where you're going if you don't go back. So I went back after 8 days. But you can see the exact day in 1971 when I saw the document that told me who killed President Kennedy. Let's take about a 5-minute break. Let's take a 10-minute break. Bobby, please, we're going to get started again. I'm going to show a videotape of a UFO. You're not going to want to miss this because it's extremely rare footage of what they call a mothership, a cigar-shaped craft.
Close that door.
I meant to say this in the beginning, but forgot all about it. For those of you who have ordered my book, all the paperback books that were ordered have been sent. They've been sent for over a week. So if you ordered it and haven't got it, it's probably in your mailbox right this moment waiting for you to come home.
Well, probably why you didn't vote for Brandon Johnson, because you probably already recognized that he was a fucking slick talking ass fucking shyster in the first place. That's probably why. I'm not in Chicago, so I wasn't gonna vote for him anyway. I saw some of the shit that he did before he ran for mayor, and I wasn't impressed. I wasn't. But let me put a little bit more on this, and then we're gonna go on.
Or will be there in the next couple of days. The hardback books are printed, but they are not bound yet. They will not be sent for another 2 weeks. And needs to be gotten to the bottom very quickly. And that is that some people are coming forward and telling us that they're being abducted by alien beings and taken aboard their spacecraft. They're literally helpless. They can't move. Their clothes are taken off. They're given medical examinations. Some people are operated upon. Samples of their tissue is taken. Sometimes sperm and ova is harvested. Sometimes females are impregnated. It's all medical fact that these things are happening.
Why is it that every time we hear about these quote unquote alien abductions, there's always some anal probing, some kind of impregnation? Like, what kind of sick shit be going on, man? You know, you got drugs out here that'll make you think that you seeing the fucking Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs if they give it to you. I'm just saying. Come on, man. let's really unpack this right now. Shit is not right. If you can hear me, please hit one because I've been having some audio difficulties. So I don't know if this is being heard right now. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? If you can hear me, okay, all right. Thank you. Because cool, 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 cool. Um, all right. Yeah, I know thank you, y'all. Thank you for giving me y'all feedback. I'm just trying to do my best, to give it. I gotta do some upgrading. It is what it is. I'm poor, I'm broke, I'm broke. But I decided to do a little something different for this live stream. Something I've been wanting to do for a long time. I got some other things in the chamber that I'm gonna put out here, but I followed this man. I know what he dealt with. They shot this man dead like a dog in front of his fucking house and made it to be like he was a terrorist. He was a militia. You remember that? Remember that word back in the day? They said he was that. Does he sound like that? Is he talking like that? I mean, and look, he ain't even of our race. I'm not a racist. There are a lot of white men, white women that stand for goodness, regardless of their race. Just like a lot of blacks do. Not all, but a nice amount. We got a lot of work to do in our community. Motherfuckers still crying over fucking reparations. We don't deserve it. Just like how y'all blowing y'all tax money right about now and be broke by April. Yeah. If y'all had reparations, it wouldn't last 3 months. I'm just saying. Will you really invest in it? Will you really make that money grow for you? Will you really care about your children's future with reparations? Or do you want to get them new Jordans that's coming out right now? Like I've been seeing motherfuckers talking about, yeah, I'm gonna get them bitches. Clowns, man. Fucking clowns. Anyway.
It is not a joke. The only question is, was it really aliens and were they really taken into a spacecraft, or did something else happen and this is a planted story that's been put in their mind to disguise it? You see, this is a classic thing that they do in brainwashing. If they want to cover something up, they just put a different memory in your mind. Now that sounds difficult, sounds impossible, but if you go read the books that have been published by people who have participated in mind control experimentation, and the documents that have been released under the Freedom of Information Act, this is not a joke. They can do it, they have done it, and will do it again in the future. Now, if this is a hoax, if it's the biggest hoax that's ever been perpetrated in the history of the world in order to create an alien threat from outer space in the consciousness of humanity so that we'll accept the elimination of the sovereignty of nations, the destruction of our Constitution, and will accept a one-world government wherein we may not have the freedoms that we have now in order to face this alien threat together as one humanity. If it's us, that means we're being manipulated on the grandest scale in history. that people are being hurt, that their minds are being screwed with. And if this is happening, we have to find out if it's really happening. We have to be able to gather enough facts to prove it, and we've got to stop it. If, on the other hand, these are really extraterrestrials that are doing these things, we have to find out why. Because these people are being implanted with very small devices, about the size of a small BB, that are literally microchips in the brain.
Y'all remember when motherfucker was talking about that shit, right? That's a real thing. They have been putting microchips in a lot of people's bodies that constantly go to these hospitals.
What is the purpose? I don't know. Can these people be controlled through these implants? I'm going to show you the locations where these implants are put into the brain. They're easily detected by MRI, CAT scan, by anybody who is a medical professional adept at identifying foreign bodies in the human body. So, aside from the obvious reasons why we should be looking into this, those are some of the other reasons why we should be looking into it. If the New World Order is so benevolent and so good for us, why is it that we have to be coerced and manipulated into it? Because this isn't the only coercion that's going on, if that's what's happening. Now, I'm going to preface what I'm going to say next, because I'm going to talk about the war in the Middle East for a few minutes. I'm going to preface what I'm going to say next with this statement. I was in the military. I'm a veteran. I support the Constitution and the government of the United States of America and will fight anyone who attempts to overthrow it or destroy it. I am for our troops in the Middle East. I am for them. I hope that not a one of them gets killed. And as long as we're engaged in battle, I hope that we win. But I'm going to tell you right now, we are not there for the reasons that you've been told. And let me give you a little history of this. Number one, George Bush comes on television and tells you that we have to send troops to the Middle East because Hussein wants to raise the price of oil and we can't afford that. That's what he said. It's on tape. It's documented. Next, he says, oh, it wasn't the oil that we sent the troops there for. It's because Hussein was not going to stop with Kuwait. He was going to go into Saudi Arabia. We're there for defensive purposes. People questioned that. The next statement came from Baker, James Baker, the Secretary of State, who said, we're not there for oil. We're not there to defend Kuwait. It's jobs. We're there for jobs. Then at a press conference, Bush said, and I quote, some people just don't get the message. It's not oil. It's not to defend Saudi Arabia, and it's not jobs. We're there to prevent this kind of naked aggression. Now I submit to you that the President of the United States and the Secretary of State don't know why the hell we're there, and they change their mind every minute, that none of the above is true. The truth is, a legal precedent has to be established that says that the United Nations is the ruler of the world. It has to be a legal precedent that all nation states submit to the will of the United Nations and give up their sovereignty to the United Nations and submit to the rule of the law of the world, which is the United Nations Charter and the resolutions passed by the United Nations and the United States military is acting as the police force for the United Nations to establish that legal precedent. And Bush has said on television, no nation can ever again stand against a world united. And if they try it, the same thing will happen to them. Margaret Thatcher was the last world leader who was opposed to the one world government, and she is no longer Prime Minister of England because of that. I'm going to tell you now that the only obstacle to the New World Order coming together at this moment is the right of the American people to keep and bear arms. That is why there is such an effort to take your guns away from you.
And with that being said, I'm gonna end it right here. You know what I'm saying? Because yeah, ultimately, that's what the masses are trying to do. There's some governments that wants to look out for the community. There's some pockets of law people that wants to, but for the most part, the ones that have the big power, they're not trying to do that. So that being said, tonight, you know what I mean? I'm gonna put part 2 up a little later. If you want me to hit a 1 in the chat. If you want me to do it for next Friday, then hit a 2 in the chat. But for right now, all right. Can y'all hear me? All right. If you can hear me, hit 1. All right, cool. It don't matter. I'm here, so I'm enjoying it. All right, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. All right, check it out. I'm about to wrap it up for the night because this is like a 4-hour live stream, and we're not about to do all this tonight. So, if you want me to put it on the next show, I'll do that. You know, just to finish it off, and then we can go back on some other shit. But I got a whole bunch of other ideas and live streams I'm going to do. So, with that being said, I really appreciate everybody. We about to wrap it up. Hey, I hope everybody have a great weekend. For those that did, in fact, tune in, I want you to live as long as you live and never want. I want you to want as long as you live and never want. God damn it. I'm fucking up. Never want as long as you live. That's all I'm gonna say right now. God damn it. I want you to live as long as you want and never want as long as you live. God damn, I couldn't get that shit out for nothing. I'm brain freezing tonight. All right, I'll do this on Friday as far as finishing this off. So take this in, and for those that want to get more information on Bill Cooper, go look him up. He's still on Facebook. He has a whole YouTube page as well. And I'm gonna say it again. I want you to live as long as you want and never won't as long as you live. I'm here. This is the Black Bottom Roscast, and we'll see you next time. And we are gone.